Welcome back everyone. Dude, this lighting is so bad, but whatever, we're gonna rock with it. Now, I haven't done a video like this, a comparison between two super old phones. Now, these aren't super old, I take that back. These phones are still pretty decent pickups in 2020, but it was 2017 when both of these phones came out, so it's been a whole 3 years, and as you guys know, there's a theory, we all kind of say it. Apple phones tend to last longer and be better long term than Samsung or even the Android phones in general. And that might be the truth, but I still think there's some pretty strong characteristics of both of these devices in 2020. And it's still a super cool thing, and I love looking back at older phones, so I wanted to compare these two a whole 3 years later and see how they hold up in 2020 and seeing which one you should pick up. And it's kind of cool because also in 2020 we have the Galaxy S20 and we're going to be getting the iPhone 12s. In another 3 years, we're going to be comparing those two ones as well. Now, with the iPhone 10, they both were starting around the same price. The Galaxy S8, I believe, was selling for $100 less than the iPhone 10. So this one was selling for $899 and this one was selling for $999. I will leave the correct prices on the screen for this one because I'm not really too sure about this one. But currently on Amazon, the iPhone 10 is selling for about $400. The Samsung Galaxy S8 is selling for about $224. So a little bit of difference in the price right there. Keep in mind as well that, it's more than $100 difference between these two. And honestly, you can get a Galaxy S8 for way less than $224 on eBay. So I'll leave these two linked in the description for the cheapest ones I found on Amazon. But again, like I said, you might be able to find cheaper ones on eBay. Now, looking at the front and looking at the body of these two, they both look basically how they, were released with, obviously. On the bottom, you can see Lightning port here, USB Type-C port here, but you also have the headphone jack on the Galaxy S8. But what I will tell you though is that on the front, we have pretty much the exact same panels. 5.8-inch OLED panels, Super AMOLED here, Super Retina OLED here. But what I will tell you though is that I've owned multiple Galaxy S8s and I've owned multiple iPhone 10s, and I've seen dozens and dozens and probably hundreds of both of these phones in my life on eBay and all these ones for sale and everything, just skimming through all of them. And what I can tell you though is that I have seen so much burn-in on the Galaxy S8 panels over the iPhone 10 panels. I have very rarely seen any burn-in on the OLED panels on the iPhone 10, any for sale or resale or whatever. I really haven't seen any. On the Galaxy S8s, I've seen tons of these. And even mine right now, you can see how much burn-in this panel has. It is crazy. If I go on, let's say, the Google Play Store, look how much burn-in is on the display. It's seriously crazy. Versus something like my iPhone 10, which I've had for a while. I use this as a main phone for a very long time. And of course, it's going to be on dark mode. So I'll go and turn on dark mode over here, or light mode, to see. As you can see, there's very little burn-in on it. It's pretty much perfectly fine. So it's pretty crazy. And it's not just this one. I've seen many of these things. So what I will tell you is, in terms of the burn-in, I've seen so much more burn-in on the Galaxy S8s than on the iPhone 10s, and I'm sure it's going to be the same way for the Galaxy S10s and the Galaxy S20s in the future, but who knows. In terms of where they film the hand though and seeing how they've kind of held up, especially on the back, you can see dual camera setup on the iPhone 10, single camera setup on the Galaxy S8, and definitely long term, the iPhone 10's kind of design has held up better. Most phones still kind of look like this, and a lot of phones still look like this, but definitely there's less bezel, and you have that dual camera setup on the iPhone 10. When on the Galaxy S8, we only have a single camera setup, and nowadays most phones have way more than a single camera, so this one is already kind of outdated. Not a humongous crazy deal, but that is something to kind of keep in mind. However, the rest of the phones, feel pretty good, and I think in a way the Galaxy S8 feels a little bit better, especially when I kind of, mush them around in my hand. I feel like the Galaxy S8 just feels a little bit better when it comes down to it, so who knows? But I think, in terms of the design, the Galaxy S8 feels a little bit better, but long term, the iPhone 10's panel and that dual camera setup definitely lead the iPhone 10 to probably being the better one between both of them. Now, in terms of the software, this is probably the bigger differences. So the iPhone 10, as you guys know, is still getting software. It started off with iOS 11, right now it's on 13.4, and it's going to be lasting for, probably another 3 versions of software, probably even more than that. With the Samsung Galaxy S8 is already done with software. How crazy is that? This phone is probably, I would say, halfway through its life cycle. This one is done. This one was done. It didn't even get the last update. It only got, Android 7 and Android 8 and then Android Pie, and it came with 7, so it really only got 2 more versions of software. It stopped on One UI 1, which is insane. It's a pretty decent software, I'll say, but still, it should have got One UI 2. It does the job and everything, but still, even the fluidity and everything, I feel like is smoother on the iPhone 10. And I'll do a speed test in a second between some, basic apps I have here, but still, that's pretty crazy. The software experience that you're going to have is going to be better on the iOS. In the long term, this one's still going to be getting security updates and everything, but definitely for a while, the iPhone 10, I think, is going to be probably the better long-term value per dollar than the Samsung Galaxy S8, in my opinion. But again, software is one thing. It's still getting security updates, like I said. But if you do get the Exynos version, you are able to custom ROM it, and there have been some really cool custom ROMs throughout the years. However, me in America and tons of other people have these Snapdragon versions. So say what you will, but it is what it is. But I definitely do think with the Galaxy S8, you're already outdated in software. With the iPhone X, we're pretty much just halfway through in the software department. So that pretty much covers it up there. Now I'll go ahead and do a speed test. We had the Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 on the Galaxy S8, an octa-core CPU and Adreno 540 GPU, and only one model with 4 gigs of RAM, where the iPhone X has the Apple A11 Bionic chip, hexa-core CPU, and 3 gigs of RAM. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of a speed test between both of them. Okay, now that we're here, let's go ahead and kind of scratch out of some of these, let's go and close out all these. I wish there was a close all on the iPhone X. Let's go and load up their app stores respectively. Actually, the Galaxy S8 loaded that one up faster. iPhone X took a while. That's kind of abnormal, but you can see scrolling through, look how much smoother the iPhone X is, where the Galaxy S8 is definitely more choppier. That is insane how choppy it is on the Samsung Galaxy S8, and that's the first app we loaded too. I'll go and start loading up these third-party apps because that's really all they have in common. We can do an app like Snapchat, 3, 2, 1. It was, it was kind of different on both for sure. Snake versus Blocks, 3, 2, 1. This one looks pretty close on both, if I'm being honest. And the Samsung Galaxy S8 actually got into that one faster. That was pretty surprising. I'm not jailbroken on the iPhone X, even though I have Cydia. It's in an unjailbroken state, so it's completely stock. And that one was actually faster on the Samsung Galaxy S8. I'm pretty surprised about that. We can start off Real Racing 3, 3, 2, 1. Now this one, I will say, getting into the actual app, now this one obviously is going to be like that, but the actual animation was smoother on the iPhone X, whereas a little bit slower on the Galaxy series. I've noticed it since the first one I bought. Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. Again, Galaxy S8 is actually faster. I was not expecting this phone to be faster. Temple Run, 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone X looked like it glitched up a little bit. The Samsung Galaxy S8 looked a little bit smoother, which is very weird. If I go and get into some gameplay, let's see if we're going to notice a difference. And I don't think we will because it's a very basic game. We can load up the next one. We can do like Facebook, 3, 2, 1. And I'm not even too sure what happened here, so we'll just go and scratch that. But I will load Facebook on here, so then it's pretty even. And this one would have taken a while. As you can see, it's just going to keep searching and searching. There we go, we eventually get into it. We can do stack, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully we don't get any notifications or anything. And I think the iPhone, to load into the ad was faster on the Galaxy S8, but we were loaded here without the ad on the iPhone X, so a little bit different, but that one was kind of different. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And it's looking like the Galaxy S8, okay, it's gonna win, alright. And they are on 2 different versions of Temple Run 2, but they're the exact same game, just the skins and themes change, that's all that's different. The Galaxy S8 got into it faster, that was really, really surprising. And I was not expecting the Galaxy S8 to be faster at all, but it's been a pretty surprising run between both of these, to be honest. We can do Netflix, 3, 2, 1. And again, I guess the iPhone X one, Galaxy S8's, noticeably slower. Don't know why it's hung up there, but we'll go ahead and let these two slide. So, what I can tell you, the speed difference, dude, I was not expecting this type of speed difference. Even though these are, a little bit older, it seems like the Galaxy S8 was sometimes faster, iPhone X was sometimes faster too, but that was definitely super surprising to me for sure. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and hit on the cameras very briefly. Now like I said, iPhone X has a dual camera setup, Galaxy S8 has a single camera setup, 2 12 megapixel sensors on the iPhone X, 12 megapixel sensor here. You have that wide angle lens and telephoto lens where you only have a wide angle lens here. And for a lot of people that'll probably throw you off because we have so many phones out there with multiple camera setups. I have a Galaxy S20, I have an iPhone 11 Pro, I've had the Pixel 4s, but that one only has 2. The OnePlus 7 Pros, all these phones, and all these phones have more than one camera setup. And in 2020, that's definitely going to feel like you were having an older phone. Where on an iPhone X, Apple's still selling an iPhone 11 that has a dual camera setup. So for this one, I think you're going to be okay for the most part. You can do 4K at 60 on the iPhone X, but only 4K at 30 on the Galaxy S8. So say what you will, the features, you might have more features on the Galaxy S8 in terms of the camera, but the iPhone X, don't sleep on the iPhone X for sure. That one still has a pretty decent camera in 2020. And also in terms of the battery life, I feel like it's better on the iPhone X a little bit. You have a 2,716 mAh battery on the iPhone X, but a 3,000 mAh battery on the Galaxy S8. Now I have looked at the battery health on this one before and on this one. and I don't know if I have the app still installed on here, but I had a battery health of about like 80 something percent. On this one it was like 82 or something. And on my iPhone 10, which I bought, it already had like 87 or something like that. And you can see we're on 88%. So this one, they're about the same, I would say. I'm curious to see what this one is again, though. I might actually run that app in the background to see what it is. And as you can see, I'm going to install this app and I'm just going to see what it is. So it's going to take a second. And as you can see, it's going to make me charge my phone. So I guess I'll wait. But that 45% is, the battery life. Okay. So I might do it and I'll let you guys know later. But basically what I can tell you is about both these phones. They both kind of held up pretty decently throughout the years, okay? And one more than the other. I think the iPhone 10 is probably going to be a better deal for you right now than the Samsung Galaxy S8. Software updates are there. This one is still getting security updates probably for a second. But again, the iPhone 10 I think is the long-term better value per dollar right now. There's still a ton of development for this phone, jailbreaks and all that stuff. When this one, it's really kind of only stuck on, between the Snapdragon version, between the Exynos version. Other than that, you're pretty much, on stock for both of these phones. So what I'll tell you is that I think the iPhone 10 is probably the better value right now. But the Galaxy S8 is still a tremendous phone. You saw it. Jesus. It did a lot of cool little things with it too. That was faster sometimes here and there, and you still have the micro SD card slot, you still have USB Type-C, you still have the headphone jack. So I think both phones have held up pretty well throughout the years, but I think the iPhone 10 is probably the better one right now. So that's pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, all those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate it if you guys would check it out. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.